It's my birthday eve. I've been counting up to it, because in the past it's really brought about for me usually a pretty big like dip. Not necessarily a trip to the pit, but definitely like a dip in energy. I look back at what I haven't done. I feel my numerical age in this body at this time um, manifests itself through a number that I know is really meaningless. But those things used to really come up for me. But what I find today is a lightness, and that lightness comes from integration. So I tend to be someone that takes things very seriously. I talk about the work very seriously. I definitely go on tirades from time to time about how important everything is. And I feel that way. I appreciate my passion. I do. And I mean it. I also think I probably take myself a little too seriously. And I think injecting a little more levity and joy into each day, making that part of my practice going forward, is definitely going to be something that I'm going to try to really be conscious of. Because I can like buckle down and like just not even enjoy the process as much as I could. I enjoy the process of work, but I want to just enjoy the process in maybe a smoother running course as I have, you just add more and more tools to your tool belt. The biggest takeaway for me from this year, though, is integration. Integration of all the sides of me. So last night I was flipping through my phone, looking at all the AI portraits that I've done in all different versions. And say what you will about those, but they're a really powerful tool for seeing yourself as different archetypes. I really enjoy the warrior one and the queen. There's something about seeing yourself in a full crown that is elevating, pulls your shoulders back a bit. In my younger years, it was like I was embodying one archetype at a time. I had this persona that I called the vixen after my marriage, who really was so helpful to me. I was allowed to kind of hide behind that mask and say, well, she decided, I didn't decide, just to give myself the freedom to break away and individuate. I mean, I was married for 25 years. It was really my identity. So to reestablish my identity, I wore very helpful masks along the way. What I have done this year that's very different than other years is I continue to do the work. It definitely is a more subtle level, as are the lies that show up, and the pieces of work that show up for me are more subtle because they're magician based, and she's very tricky. I call her the conjurer, not the magician, for some reason. That speaks to me more, my dramatic ways. Um, but integration is a slow process. And there's not a lot that you can do to integrate. I think that's the thing that makes integration so challenging for me. It really is a state of allowing yourself to be this new way. And I spoke just the other day about the challenge that we have, especially in our society here, between being, allowing ourselves to be defined by our being, who we are, our essence, and our tasks, our roles, and what we do in the world. I'm not saying you shouldn't have goals and aspirations and a mission, of course, but you really do, especially for integration, need to allow yourself to be and sit in it and let it become part of your DNA. That does not happen overnight. I also know that to get to that place where that spare thread starts to really weave through, you need stillness right there. You need that point in which the world falls away and you get that hit of union of your inner self, your outer self, your body, and your connection to God. And if you practice bringing that moment through more and more, it will come through more and more easily. Right there. So, two things for you to think about today. One is integration, Are you able to integrate the things that you've learned, or do you rush on to the next one? Because that was me forever. And it is me still a little bit, but I am a little bit better at pulling myself back, um, and allowing yourself today to manifest yourself a couple times a day to touch that still place. It's where true unity happens. So that is what comes up for me today. And I will see you tomorrow.